The story of how Google was created. Part 1. Long ago in the 1990s, two young students met at a famous university. Their names were Larry Page and Sergey Brin. They were both studying at Stanford University in California, USA. Larry was from Michigan. Sergey was born in Russia, but moved to the United States when he was a child. At first, Larry and Sergey did not agree on many things. They had different ideas and often argued. But slowly, they started to see that they could work well together. They both loved computers. They both wanted to make something new and useful. In those days, the internet was growing fast. Many people were using it to find information. But there was a big problem. It was hard to find the right information. There were search engines like Yahoo and Alta Vista, but they were not very good. They showed too many results. People had to look through many pages to find what they needed. Larry and Sergey had an idea. They wanted to build a better search engine. They thought the most important pages on the internet should be easy to find. So they started working on a new system. They called it Backrub because it checked the backlinks of websites. A backlink is when one website links to another. They believed that more backlinks meant the page was more important. Larry and Sergey worked in their dorm rooms. They used old computers and simple tools. At first, their project was small, but it started to work better than other search engines. It gave people the right answers faster. Their friends and teachers at Stanford were very impressed. Soon, they changed the name of their project. They wanted a name that showed how much information they could organize. So, they chose the name Google. The name came from the word Google, which means a very big number 1 followed by 100 zeros. It was the perfect name for a search engine that could find so many things. Larry and Sergey needed money to grow. They met with people who could invest in their idea. One man, Andy Bechtolzheim, gave them a check for $100,000. That helped them start a real company. In 1998, they opened their first office in a garage in Menlo Park, California. It was the beginning of something big. Google became popular very fast. People liked it because it was simple and fast. They could find what they needed in just seconds. Larry and Sergey were happy, but they knew this was just the start of their journey. Part 2. After Google started in the small garage, things moved quickly. Larry and Sergey worked very hard. They hired their first employees and started to build a strong team. Everyone worked together to make Google better every day. Their goal was simple: help people find information fast. In the early days, Google did not show any ads. Larry and Sergey did not want the site to look messy. They wanted it to stay clean and easy to use. Many users liked this. Google became more and more popular. It started to beat other search engines. But running a growing company costs money. Larry and Sergey needed a way to earn money. So they had an idea. They would show small, simple ads. These ads would appear only when people searched for something. For example, if you searched for shoes, you might see an ad for a shoe store. This idea became Google Ads. Google Ads was different. The ads were not annoying. They were helpful. Businesses liked this too. They paid money to show their ads to the right people. Google started to make a lot of money. This money helped the company grow even faster. As Google grew, Larry and Sergey looked for new ways to help people. They started working on other tools. One of them was Gmail. Gmail was a free email service. It gave people a lot of space to store their emails. It also helped find old messages quickly. Many people switched from other email services to Gmail. Another tool was Google Maps. This helped people find places and directions. You could search for a restaurant or a park and see where it was. Later, you could even see photos of the street. This was called Street View. It was like taking a walk online. Google was becoming more than a search engine. It was turning into something bigger. It helped people with email, maps, news, and more. Larry and Sergey wanted to make the world's information easy to find and use. But with more power came more responsibility. Some people worried about their privacy. They asked, "What does Google do with our data?" Google had to answer these questions. The company promised to protect people's information. It also gave users more control over their data. Even with challenges, Google kept growing. It moved to a new office called the Googleplex. It was a big, fun place to work. There were bright colors, play areas, and free food. Google wanted to make employees happy. Happy workers made better products. Larry and Sergey had come a long way from their dorm rooms. But they still had many ideas. Google's story was far from over. Part 3. As the years passed, Google continued to grow. The company was no longer just a small team. It had thousands of workers in many countries. People from all over the world used Google every day. They used it to search, to send emails, to watch videos, and more. One of Google's biggest steps was buying YouTube in 2006. YouTube was a video-sharing website. People could upload videos and watch videos made by others. It was very popular, especially with young people. Google saw how important YouTube was and decided to buy it. Buying YouTube helped Google in many ways. It gave the company a new way to share information with video. People could now learn things by watching. They could also share their own stories with the world. YouTube became part of everyday life for many people. Around the same time, Google started working on something new, a mobile phone system. This was called Android. Android helped phones run apps and connect to the Internet. Google gave Android away for free to phone makers. This helped Android grow very fast. Today, billions of phones use Android. Google also built new tools like Google Translate. This tool helps people understand different languages. You type something in English, and it can show it in Spanish, Chinese, or many other languages. This helps people connect across the world. Another important tool was Google Docs. With Google Docs, people can write and share documents online. They can work together, even if they are in different places. It changed how people work and study. All of these tools made Google even more important in people's lives. But some people worried. They asked, "Is Google getting too big?" Governments started asking questions. They wanted to make sure Google was fair and followed the rules. Google worked with these governments. Sometimes it had to change how it did things. But Larry and Sergey still believed in their big dream to help everyone find and use information. By now, Google had become one of the most powerful companies in the world. But Larry and Sergey didn't want to just run a business. They wanted to change the world. So they started new projects. One was called Google X, a lab where people worked on wild ideas. In Google X, people built self-driving cars. These cars did not need a driver. They used sensors and computers to drive safely. They also worked on internet balloons, big balloons, that could bring internet to places with no service. Google was trying to solve big problems: traffic, communication, health, and more. Larry and Sergey wanted Google to be more than a company. They wanted it to be a force for good. But running such a big company was not easy. Larry and Sergey knew they could not do everything. In 2015, they made a big decision. They created a new company called Alphabet. Google became part of Alphabet. Other projects, like the self-driving cars, became separate parts too. This way, Google could focus on search, ads, and products while Alphabet could work on big ideas. Part 4. After Google became part of Alphabet, many changes happened. Larry Page became the CEO of Alphabet. Sundar Pichai, who had worked at Google for many years, became the new CEO of Google. Sundar was born in India and studied in the United States. He was known for being calm, smart, and good with people. Under Sundar's leadership, Google kept growing. He helped launch new products and improve old ones. Google Search became smarter. It could answer questions without even clicking a link. It started using AI, artificial intelligence, to better understand what people were looking for. Google Assistant was also created. It was a smart helper that could talk to users. You could ask it things like, "What's the weather today?" or "Remind me to call Mom." It worked on phones, smart speakers, and even in cars. Google Assistant became part of daily life for many. Another big step was Google Photos. People took more pictures than ever before, especially with smartphones. Google Photos helped people store their photos safely in the cloud. It also used AI to organize them and make fun videos and albums. Google also cared about the Earth. The company said it wanted to be carbon-free by 2030. That means all of Google's energy would come from clean sources like wind and solar. They also worked to build more eco-friendly offices and data centers. Google's projects kept expanding. They helped with education by giving free tools to schools, like Google Classroom. Many teachers and students used these tools, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. It helped students learn from home. But Google also faced problems. Some people said it had too much power. Others said it did not pay enough attention to people's rights online. Google tried to listen and make changes. They added more privacy tools. They also showed people how their data was used. At the same time, Google focused more on AI. It launched a project called Google DeepMind. This team worked on very smart computers that could play games, solve problems, and even help doctors. DeepMind's AI once beat the best human player in a game called Go, a big moment in tech history. Google's work in AI became one of its most important missions. It wanted to build helpful and safe AI that could improve life. AI was now in many Google products, from search to translate to Gmail. Sundar often said that AI would be as important as fire or electricity. That's how big he believed it was. So now, more than 25 years after Larry and Sergey started their search engine, Google is a part of almost everyone's life. It helps us search, learn, connect, and create. From a small idea in a college dorm room, Google grew into one of the most powerful and helpful companies in the world. But the story of Google isn't over. It's still being written every day. Part 5. Even though Google is already very big, it is still changing. New ideas come all the time. One big area is health and medicine. Google wants to help people live longer and stay healthy. That's why they created Calico, a company that studies aging and diseases. Google also started working with doctors and hospitals. They used AI to help read X-rays and detect health problems early. In some places, AI could even find signs of eye disease faster than a doctor. Google hopes these tools will save lives. Another area is space and science. Google works with NASA and other groups to share space data. They help people see stars and planets using Google Earth and Google Sky. With just a few clicks, you can travel across the universe from your computer. In education, Google keeps building tools for learning. Google Meet, Google Slides, and Chromebooks are used in many classrooms. These tools help students study and teachers teach even from home. Google wants to make learning easy for everyone, everywhere. One of Google's new projects is about helping people without internet. In some places, it is hard to get online. So Google launched Project Loon, big balloons that fly high in the sky and bring internet to remote areas. In places like Kenya and Puerto Rico, these balloons helped people stay connected. Google also thinks about the future of work. Many people now work from home or on the go. Google builds tools like Google Drive and Google Chat to help teams work together online. They believe the office of the future is flexible and digital. But not everything is perfect. Google faces big questions about safety, fairness, and trust. For example, how should AI be used? Can it hurt people if it is not used right? Google made rules to guide how they build AI. It should be fair, private, and helpful. People also ask if Google knows too much. They say Google remembers everything I search. Is that okay? Google gives people tools to delete their data and see what is saved. Still, the topic of privacy stays very important. To deal with these challenges, Google talks to governments, schools, and other companies. They want to be open and responsible. They also listen to users and try to improve based on feedback. Today, Google is more than a search engine. It is a part of daily life like electricity or water. It helps us talk, learn, explore, work, and stay safe. From helping in disasters to making smart home devices, Google touches almost everything. But what will come next? Larry, Sergey, Sundar, and the Google team believe the best is still ahead. With new technologies like AI, robots, and quantum computers, Google wants to keep solving hard problems and building for the future. And maybe, just maybe, some kid in a dorm room right now will start the next big idea. just like Larry and Sergey once did. Part 6. As Google moved further into the future, one thing became clear: the internet was growing faster than ever. Billions of people were online, and many of them used Google every day. To keep up, Google needed better technology, faster computers, smarter programs, and bigger ideas. That's when Google started investing more in cloud computing. This is a way of storing and using data on the internet instead of on your computer. Google Cloud helps businesses, schools, and even governments run their work online. They can store files, build apps, and use powerful tools all in the cloud. One popular service is Google Drive. People use it to keep documents, photos, and videos safe. You can open your files from any device, anywhere. For businesses, Google Cloud offers tools to analyze big data and work faster. Another new idea was quantum computing. This is a special kind of computer that can solve very difficult problems that normal computers cannot handle. In 2019, Google announced that it had built a quantum computer that completed a task in 200 seconds, which would take the world's fastest supercomputer 10,000 years. It was a huge step in science. But even with smart machines and powerful tools, Google never forgot about people. The company kept working to make its tools more helpful and inclusive. They made products in many languages. They created features for people with disabilities like voice typing and screen readers. Google also started focusing on digital well-being. Many people were spending too much time online. Google added tools to help people take breaks, set screen time limits, and stay balanced. On YouTube, they added reminders to take a break after watching videos for a long time. Speaking of YouTube, it continued to grow. People used it not only for fun, but also for learning. There are channels that teach math, history, science, music, and more in many languages. YouTube became a global classroom. At the same time, Google worked on better security. Hackers and online crimes were growing. Google created stronger protection for accounts. They built two-step verification, a way to check your identity with a phone code or fingerprint. They also warned users when passwords were weak or leaked. Privacy and trust stayed important topics. Google tried to make privacy settings easy to understand. They let users turn off location tracking or delete search history. Still, many people wanted more control and more transparency. Google had to keep improving. Google also became a leader in digital responsibility. They trained millions of people in online safety. They taught children, parents, and teachers how to stay safe and smart on the internet. In everything Google did, one idea stayed the same: organize the world's information and make it useful. That idea was born in a university dorm room. Now, it was helping people around the globe. Part 7. As the digital world kept changing, Google continued to explore new paths. One area of focus was artificial intelligence, not just for search or translation, but for creativity. Google started building AI that could help people make music, draw pictures, and even write stories. They wanted to show that technology can support human imagination. They created tools like AutoDraw, which helps turn rough sketches into clean drawings and Magenta, which uses AI to compose music. These tools were free and fun, and they helped both artists and students. Google believed that everyone, not just coders, should enjoy using AI. At the same time, Google paid more attention to the environment. The company said technology should help the planet, not hurt it. Google Maps began showing routes that used less fuel. They also helped people find electric car chargers. They added information about recycling centers and eco-friendly businesses. In their own offices, Google used solar panels and energy-saving designs. Many of their buildings were built with recycled materials. Their data centers, which hold all the information for services like Gmail and YouTube, became some of the most energy efficient in the world. One of the boldest moves was Google's work with Artificial General Intelligence, AGI. This is AI that doesn't just do one task, but can learn anything like a human brain. Google's DeepMind team made progress in this field, especially in science. In 2020, they used AI to solve a biology puzzle called protein folding, which had confused scientists for 50 years. This helped doctors understand diseases better and opened doors for new medicine. Meanwhile, Google's products continued to evolve. Google Search added featured snippets, short answers at the top of the page. Gmail used AI to finish your sentences as you type. Google Lens lets you search by taking a photo instead of typing. Google also helped in times of crisis. During the COVID-19 pandemic, they shared safety tips, showed testing locations on maps, and helped governments spread important messages. They supported teachers and small businesses with free tools and training. In 2022, Google launched a new chip called Tensor for their Pixel phones. It made phones faster and smarter by using AI in new ways. This was part of Google's plan to design more of their own hardware phones. Speakers, smart displays, and even glasses. Yes, smart glasses were back. Google had tried them before, but now they were better, lighter, simpler, and more useful. People could translate languages in real time just by looking and listening. Through all this, Google kept saying their goal was to be helpful. They wanted to build technology that solved real problems. Whether it was finding answers, staying healthy, saving energy, or learning something new, Google wanted to be there. And they knew they couldn't do it alone. That's why Google supported developers, creators, teachers, scientists, and everyday users. They gave out scholarships, hosted coding competitions, and supported local startups. From a tiny team in a garage to a global company helping billions. Google had come a long way, but their journey was still going. Part 8. As Google entered its third decade, it became clear that the world had changed, and Google had changed with it. But one thing stayed the same: the company's goal to make information useful and accessible to all. In many parts of the world, access to the Internet was still limited. So, Google kept investing in global connectivity. Through its Google Station project, it helped bring free Wi-Fi to public places like train stations, parks, and libraries in countries like India, Indonesia, and Mexico. Google also worked on language inclusion. Many people spoke languages that weren't well represented online. Google Translate added more local languages, including ones spoken by small communities. This helped people learn, shop, and connect in their own language, and helped protect these languages from disappearing. One amazing project was Google's work with AI for sign language. They trained AI to recognize hand movements using a phone camera. This helped deaf users communicate more easily, and it opened the door for future apps that could bridge language gaps in real time. In schools, Google's role continued to grow. They offered Google for Education a full set of tools for teaching, testing, and managing classrooms. Teachers could give homework on Google Classroom. Students could submit it with Google Docs, and parents could follow progress from home. At the same time, Google wanted to help people build skills for the digital age. Through Grow with Google, they gave free training in coding, online marketing, business skills, and job search tools. People of all ages, from teenagers to older, adults joined these programs to learn and find work, to help make the internet safer for everyone, especially children. Google built YouTube Kids, a version of YouTube with filtered content and stronger safety settings. Parents could choose what their children watched and how long they watched it. Meanwhile, AI continued to be part of nearly every Google product. The company introduced Lambda, a new kind of language model that could have conversations in a more natural way. It was used in chatbots, learning tools, and even creative writing apps. Google hoped this kind of AI would help people learn, create, and solve problems more easily. In the area of search, things kept getting smarter. You could now ask complex questions, mix text and images with tools like multi-search, or even hum a tune to find a song. Google Maps started using augmented reality, AR, to show directions on your phone screen. Instead of just looking at a map, you could hold up your phone and see arrows on the street telling you where to go. Google also worked hard to support mental health. They created tools to help people find nearby support, learn about stress and anxiety, and even take simple mental health self-checks, all through search. And when natural disasters happened, earthquakes, fires, floods, Google used AI and satellite data to help alert people faster. Google.org, the company's charity branch, sent aid to communities in need and funded recovery projects. By now, it was clear Google was not just a tech company. It was a global platform for education, safety, communication, health, creativity, and progress. And through it all, the mission stayed the same: to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Part 9. In recent years, Google began shaping the future in even more bold and exciting ways. With technology touching every part of life, the company focused on building tools that not only solve problems today, but also prepare us for tomorrow. One of Google's newest areas is artificial intelligence for creativity and learning. In 2023, they introduced Bard, a conversational AI similar to a chatbot, but much smarter. Bard could help write essays, explain science facts, solve math problems, and even suggest ideas for poems or songs. It was designed to be a helpful thinking partner. Google also made AI-powered tools for students. A tool called Practice Sets helped learners check their answers and get feedback in real time. For example, if a student solved a math problem incorrectly, the system would show hints just like a tutor would. This helped many kids feel more confident at school. In art and design, Google used AI to help people create music, 3D models, and animations. They added AI features to tools like Google Slides and Docs, so people could create faster with suggestions for images, writing, or layouts. Meanwhile, sustainability remained a big goal. Google launched carbon-aware computing, which means their data centers try to do the most energy-heavy tasks when clean energy is most available. This helps reduce pollution without slowing down the internet. They also helped users make greener choices. If you searched for flights, Google showed the ones with lower carbon emissions. If you searched for appliances or cars, it helped you compare energy use. Even on Google Maps, you could choose routes that use less fuel. Google partnered with cities to build digital tools for urban planning. These tools help city leaders understand where to plant trees, improve traffic, or add solar panels. It showed how data and AI could make cities healthier and smarter. Google also focused on digital citizenship, helping people use the internet wisely. They taught children about kindness online, how to spot fake news, and how to protect their passwords. Programs like Be Internet Awesome reached millions of students around the world. Security kept improving too. In 2023, Google began rolling out passkeys, a way to log in without passwords. Instead of remembering codes, users could log in with a fingerprint, face scan, or phone tap. This made online life easier and safer. As Google services became more advanced, they made sure to design with accessibility in mind. AI helped describe images to people who are blind. It could read web pages aloud, or change settings for people with hearing or movement challenges. In hardware, Google's Pixel devices became smarter and more personal. The phones could now summarize calls, filter spam, detect car crashes, and translate conversations, all using AI built right into the phone. The company's moonshot division, X, kept experimenting with wild ideas. One project aimed to use AI and robots in agriculture to help farmers grow more food with less water. Another project looked at using AI for wildfire detection, helping communities stay safe. Through all this growth, Google continued to say technology should be helpful for everyone, not just a few. They shared code, offered free learning resources, and helped other companies build responsibly. Google's story, once just about search, had become about shaping the digital age with care, with creativity, and with purpose. Part 10. As the world entered the mid-2020s, Google stood at the center of a new digital era. The tools it created had become part of daily life for billions of people. But Google wasn't finished. It kept looking ahead to the future, asking, "What's next?" One of the company's boldest moves was in the field of AI assistance. Google introduced new versions of its assistant technology, powered by advanced language models. These assistants could now book appointments, plan trips, write emails, and even help with homework. People spoke to them like they would speak to a friend. In 2024, Google released Gemini, an advanced AI system that worked across all their products, Search, Docs, Maps, and even YouTube. Gemini could help answer big questions like, how can I start a small business? Or what's a healthy meal plan for my family? It understood long conversations and gave thoughtful, step-by-step help. This made Google not just a place to find answers, but a place to solve problems together with AI. Meanwhile, AI safety and ethics became more important than ever. Google created special teams to make sure their AI tools were fair, respectful, and safe. They worked with scientists, governments, and human rights groups to create global standards for using AI in good ways. Google shared AI tools with doctors, farmers, teachers, and engineers around the world. In Africa, AI helped farmers grow crops even during droughts. In hospitals, it helped doctors detect rare diseases. In classrooms, it helped students learn in their own language and style. Google also pushed forward with augmented reality AR and virtual reality VR. They developed AR glasses that could show directions, translate signs, and even recognize faces for people with memory loss. In VR, Google helped people explore museums, travel to ancient cities, and learn science in 3D, all from their homes. At the same time, privacy and control stayed a top priority. Google introduced My Activity Hub, where users could manage everything: search history, voice commands. YouTube watches all in one place with one click. They also launched new tools to protect kids online, helping parents guide screen time, content access, and safety settings. In terms of hardware, Google continued developing smart devices like the Pixel Tablet, Pixel Fold, and new smartwatches. These devices worked together like one system, powered by AI and connected through the cloud. But it wasn't just about technology. Google increased its work on social impact. Through Google.org, they funded projects for clean water, digital education, crisis response, and support for refugees. They offered grants and mentorship too. Startups led by women and underrepresented groups. Sundar Pichai, still Google's CEO, said in a speech, "We want to build not just for the next billion users, but with them. Every voice should help shape the future of technology." By now, Google was over 25 years old. It had grown from a university project into one of the world's most important companies. But more than that, it had become a symbol of curiosity, of connection, of how asking one small question could lead to something big. The story of Google is still growing, shaped by the people who use it every day, including you. Part 11. As Google moved deeper into the 2020s, one idea became even stronger at the heart of everything AI for everyone. It wasn't just about smart tools. It was about giving people superpowers in their everyday lives. In 2025, Google focused more than ever on making personal AI assistants smarter and more human-like. Gemini evolved into a full AI companion. It could help write a sum, guide you through a fitness plan, or remind you to call your grandma. It could learn your style, your goals, and your habits, always with respect for privacy and control. These assistants worked across all Google products. In Gmail, they could sort, summarize, and even write replies. In Docs, they could outline a report or give writing suggestions. In Maps, they could plan your whole day coffee meetings, breaks, and the best route home. One major success was Gemini for Creators, a tool for YouTubers, bloggers, and artists. It could help plan content, write scripts, design thumbnails, and even edit videos. This made it easier for creative people to focus on ideas instead of just editing. In education, Google launched LearnLM, a language model designed just for learning. It powered tools that could explain math step by step, help with science experiments, or teach history through storytelling. LearnLM also worked in Google Search for education, giving students answers tailored to their grade and reading level. To reach more people, Google added more offline support. In places with slow internet, apps like Gmail, Drive, and Maps could work with low or no connection. Data would sync later. This helped students, workers, and families in remote areas stay connected. Google also expanded its work in healthcare AI. DeepMind and Google Health worked together on tools that could analyze health records, help doctors diagnose faster, and support mental health treatment. AI didn't replace doctors, it helped them save time and focus on patients. In environmental science, Google Earth Engine kept growing. This powerful tool used satellite images and AI to track forests, floods, and climate change. Scientists and governments used it to protect nature and plan better cities. One inspiring program was AI for indigenous languages. Google worked with native communities to preserve and teach endangered languages. AI helped translate stories, record pronunciations, and even create language learning apps. Security stayed a top focus. Google's AI blocked billions of spam and scam messages every day. They added real-time threat detection for Android devices and smarter protection against phishing in Gmail. Google's Quantum AI Lab also made headlines. They showed new ways quantum computers could help with chemistry, climate models, and medicine discovery. While quantum computing was still young, it was growing fast. Through all this, Google kept working with partners, schools, nonprofits, small businesses, and researchers to make sure AI worked for everyone. They said the future doesn't belong to machines. It belongs to people who know how to use them kindly and wisely. The Google of 2025 looked very different from the Google of 1998, but the mission was still clear: help people find, understand, and build what matters.